All right, it sure is nice having spare parts. So I have a pair of complete front doors from a 56 210 four-door. They have all the stuff on them. I mainly needed the wing window crank mechanisms and some of the hardware out of those doors. So I ended up just getting the entire door. It has the access panels on the back that go on the inside that screw on. I mean, they're complete doors, which is really awesome. They even have the stainless from the interior trim panel, or door panels on the inside, and they have the window cranks and armrests and everything, which the interior stainless on a 210/56 is different from a 55. But anyway, I'm just saying they're basically a complete door. So the stainless piece off of one of them, there's no dents in this one, just has a few little scratches here and there. So this one's going to be a lot easier to restore, faster to restore, I should say, than the one that came off of this car. It has multiple. When I'm trying to pick stainless for a car, if I have multiples, I'll always write on the outside of them with a Sharpie, because once you sand them and polish them, you remove all the Sharpie anyway. But this has high spots all over the place and bad scratches, and they got into it with a DA, and it's just really rough. And this one that I had off the other door is nice, so that worked out really cool. Now, I've showed this in a video before, but I'm going to go ahead and show it again in case some of you newer guys haven't seen it. If you got a 210 55 four-door, not a Bel Air and not a 150, they have a thin belt molding right here. Now, I don't have this one snapped on. It's just basically sitting up there a little bit. But anyway, the belt line comes down through on this door, and then they put it on this door. They did not put anything here on the B-pillar. Bel Airs had wider trim, and they did have a piece for that, which is actually right here. So when you look at this stainless from a Bel Air, it has this little piece right here on the top. I'll show you right here. So I marked that with a blue Sharpie of where you can cut that, and cut it right down in that little inlay in there. And it is the exact shape of the 210. So when you trim that out and go back and hand file it or whatever, and then sand it and polish it, you have a continuance for your 210s that they never did. So when you get in here and you look, you'll see the circle indent right here that was factory stamped in there, and that's about where you drill the hole for this to attach, because it goes on like that. Now, it is a pretty large hole, so you have to use a big panhead style Phillips screw in there, which I like to use stainless number 8, kind of short one. But anyway, it makes it adjustable a little bit so you can match up your trim. So once you fit your doors and everything, you can get some of these off of Bel Air and cut them down and figure out when everything lines up, mock everything up, and there you go. So again, I've showed that in an older video, but just in case some of you new guys haven't seen it yet. All right, so what I'm getting ready to do is I dumped my bag of, these are the Phillips bolts that bolt the rear door hinges to the B-pillar on the four-door, and some of them were in pretty bad shape. I had a couple that the threads were pretty well messed up, and a couple of them that were burred out real bad because I had to beat the crap out of them with that impact driver to get them out. So luckily I had a box here, or slide tray, of hinge bolts. So I went through and I found a nice set. So I used a Scotch-Brite disc and basically just smoothed the head off real nice. It just basically gets the corrosion off of it and smooths them out a little bit if they have a light burr to them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 5/16 hole, a bunch of them, not all the way through this 2x4, but I'm going to drill a bunch of them, probably about, I don't know, halfway down, just a bunch of them, and then that way I can put the screws in there, and then I'm going to blast them with my portable blaster and try to get down in there inside where the Phillips bit goes, because there's corrosion down in some of them. But anyway, those will clean up real nice so they can be painted. All right, so got the holes drilled in the 2x4, put the screws in there, and then took it over there to my portable blaster and just blasted the crap out of everything. And then I did a few different light coats just so it didn't build up so heavy on the top, but I was trying to get down inside the part where the screwdriver goes. It was really kind of nice having it done like that, because you can basically put it like that, so you can, you know, get some good coverage down inside the screw heads there. And then I turned them this way. But anyway, it just worked pretty good. This is just duplicolor engine paint, and it's called aluminum. But these 4 little clutch heads here for the pull vent cables that go underneath the dash. The ones that were off of my car were not in good shape. So I went through my slide trays and I had some nice ones. And then this is the ashtray, the back of it. I blasted the inside and outside of it. But anyway, that's also duplicolor aluminum. Now what I've done is I've removed the face from the ashtray, and I've got, let's see if I can find that. Alright guys, so I got some H4 headlights for the 4-door, and they actually have a big rubber boot on the back of them by where the plug-in is, and it's bigger around than the opening in the factory buckets, headlight buckets. So this is how I did my hardtop. I took a piece of just strap and cut it off, and I welded it on each side, just some tack welds, and then I drill a hole directly in the middle here, and then I use a drill and a hole saw, and it hole saws the back of the headlight out bigger so that rubber grommet thing will fit through there. So I mean, it's not that much work really, just taking a piece of strap and slicing 2 ends and kind of crap tack it on there and hole saw it. Alright, so this is what it pretty much looks like after you hole saw the back of the headlight bucket out. It you know, opens it up where it's not too bad. That grommet on them H4s go way down in there. I don't even know what size hole saw this is. I just went through the bucket and grabbed the one that fit. 3.5 it says. 3.5 inch. Then I used my cordless drill with a little barrel sander and went around it, cleaned up the burr on it. I blasted those with my portable blaster, and then I just used some Krylon that I had on the shelf. It's called satin nickel. It's kind of a grayish gold color. It's just, you don't see them anyway. It's just a color basically to keep them from rusting. So anyway, that's the headlights. Well, I guess the hole didn't need to be that big. Probably could have went with a 1/4 inch smaller one, but anyway, so I got them to where they actually fit. These are just some, I think they were like 30 bucks off of eBay a couple of years ago. I bought them for my hardtop, and then I ended up buying a different set. So these are brand new, never been used, but anyway, so those bucket deals are pretty much ready. And then I've got the retaining rings they came with the car. They had overspray all over them, and I cleaned it off there and polished those up pretty good. So I've got a brand new package of headlight clips and screws and all the adjustment stuff. So it should be all pretty much brand new when we get it done. The headlights and all that crap. So there's 2 packs of those in there. Yeah, it's a lot of work just for headlights, but at least it's done now. Alright guys, so here is a door handle, inside door handle, for a Tri-5 Chevy and other vehicles, of course, of that era. But anyway, this was in the box that I got from my buddy Terry, that he dropped off in the driveway and left before I could have a chance to thank him or anything. But anyway, I'm in need of, you know, some pretty decent ones. I do have some of these here, but some of them are really, really bad pitted to the point where if you grabbed it to try to, you know, put your hand around it to open the door, it'd probably, you know, scratch your skin or something from the heavy pitting. But they do sell them new, and it's probably something I'll get later. But for right now, I noticed this one is, you know, it's got a couple of pits here and there, but it's not, overall, it's not too shabby. So I'm going to do a little cleanup here. Now, I've just got done Windexing it and wiping it off to get all the, you know, the dirt and stuff off of it. So anyway, I'm going to polish on this a minute with the Mother's Mag aluminum polish and a piece of 4/0 steel wool that I have in there. And I'm going to lightly wipe over this, try to get this haze off there and that tarnish, because it just looks so bad, you know what I mean? Then I got an old microfiber there that I'll wipe it off with. So Stay tuned. All right. I mean, it's not perfect, but at least it's got a shine to it now. A really big gnarly pit right there, pretty big one. But I think I'll use this one on the passenger side. So it'll go that way, and it'll be harder to see that under there, but this top side, you know, it cleaned up pretty good. I haven't got handprints on it. I'll have to wipe it back down, but that'll work, man. Thanks again, Terry. All right, guys, so doing the non-fun stuff. What I'm trying to do is I want to get all the old hog rings off of this and all the wave wire, all the stuff off this, so I can go in here and basically bend all these wires back to where they're all kind of about the same, and then get them all pulled up even, and I'll check it with a straight edge when I'm done and everything. But anyway, there's a lot of the stuff, somebody has added stuff on over here, and it's got it in a bind. Like this little section right here is smushed way down, so there's a dip here. So I'm going to remove some of this stuff and try to repair it the best I can. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm just going to give it a shot. You know, there's 1,000 hog rings on this thing that it doesn't need right now, you know, from the old seat covers and all that stuff. So basically I want to clean this all up, and I may go ahead and lay some plastic outside, and I might try blasting this. I'm not sure what time it is. It might be getting too late in the evening now, but I want to clean all this stuff off first and do a little tweaking on it, bending and stuff before. But anyway, I'm going to be using this for mock-up, you know, and I need to cut the foam out that I'm using on top. And if I've got the seat frame all blasted and cleaned up, I can go ahead and paint it. And then at that point, you know, I can go ahead and put my burlap or my carpet or whatever I'm going to use on the top, and then cut the foam basically and get it stuck on there. And then that will be good enough for when I fit her in the car for the seat belt. I also need to figure out how I'm going to attach the seat belts, the clasp part that's in the middle. I need to figure out how I'm going to attach these to this part. I'm going to add some hefty steel in here for some good anchors and weld square nuts to that, and then weld that part into this, so it'll be pretty stout. But anyway, a lot of work to do here. Anyway, I'm just using, I've always called these fencing pliers. I'm not sure what you really call them, but I always call them fencing pliers, but for like barbed wire fence or whatever. But this is what I always use to remove hog rings, because I just basically hook onto them and then twist, and it always pulls them off. So anyway, yay. So that's what I'm removing, is these rusty, crusty hog rings. Can't get a hold of that one. That's the right on the spot.